Yeah, let's invite Simon Liebing, who will give another exciting talk concerning the data, CREDO data. Simon, and I will warn you, 2-minute warning.
Okay. Thanks for the opportunity of having me here. I hope the remote people can also hear me. Well, maybe first a little word why or how I ended up here. I first heard of CREDO probably fall 2019, beginning of 2020, when David moved back here and started to be part of it. And at that time, I kind of tried to use the app, but somehow failed. And then I kind of forgot about it for a while. And then I was last year in December in this workshop in Görlitz and met Robert and David again. And so I looked again a bit in it. Therefore, I have a little warning. I'm very new to that. I spent only something like 5 weeks on it. Yeah, and I might say stuff which is stupid, or you have already tried several years, or whatever. And so the main focus is I did mainly a bit of statistical analysis of the data, so by users and devices. And then as I stumbled over this multi-detections in one frame. Yeah, but we will come to that. So I also did not yet basically request full access to the database. So basically, I only looked on the website and on these JSON files one could download in December for 2020 and 2023. This were basically about 1 million detected events. And if you filter it out, it is something like 1,600 accounts and 1,900 devices. Yeah, and on the website, we have something like 14 million. Oh, and the first observation was basically that we have here these 14 point something million detections, and if you look on this top 5 list and add them up, they already give 2.5 million detections, which means we have in 0.24% of the users, we have something like 18% of the detections, and if we go to the top 20, it becomes 38%. And then at the time, I also set up my own old phone and let it run a bit. And that's basically the statistics after 15 days, I think, of running. I seem to have a relatively bad rate of detections. So I have about 500 detections and spend about 250 hours. But compared to the 20,000 devices on the list, my device ranked already something in the top 1,000, at least close to, in both categories. So from this, I concluded that probably the statistics, obviously, we will have a very high number of users which will have only very little detections and probably drop out quite fast. Then I turned to this metadata JSON files and produced the actual graph from that. And then we get a bit of surprise because actually we don't get what I expected. But we still have a lot more devices which have a lot more detections. So I wasn't sure whether this has something now to do with that it has changed over time, or whatever, I did something wrong, or yeah. What I learned the last 3 days is obviously that it's also quite different from place to place, how much you catch, depending on how you set up your detector and so on. And if you do something else, I can of course also calculate from all the detections how much time people spend contributing detections. And if we look instead, and the way I calculated, it's more an upper band on how much time people spend. We come back to basically the statistics I suggested, that we basically lose a lot of people quite early. And now to the multi-detections that I also observed first on the website, that there appear these events where some user and some device report multiple detections at exactly the same time. And here we also find again the categories. So we have some dot and some track, or here we have 4 detections. We have 3 dots, 1 track. Or here we have 2 again, and we have 1 dot and a worm. And also for that, I asked myself, well, how many of the detections does that have such a feature? And in the beginning, I was also not sure that they basically come from 1 frame, or I was not sure about the timing position and so on. And yeah. Then I have to explain it a bit more, because basically there was more text and it's just screwed it up. This is now, we filter all the detections and count which multiple ones. And we look, how far can we go? So that's basically the count of multi-detections. And this is the number in each detection. So, and then we get something like a total of our 1 million detections are 46,000 of that are multiple detections. So something like 4.5%, kind of. And of these, 43,300 are doubles, 2,802 are triples, and so on. And it goes down to 10 detections in one picture, where we have in this 1 million, we have 7 events of that. So here now you can see it properly. It also reads the axis, and we have also all the numbers for all the multiplicities up to 10. And here we have also our winner. I choose one of the 7, 10 events. So it is our user 284015. Maybe our tech support will also have a look who that person is. I can give a hint from the location. It is somebody from Opava, and maybe we can find out what is happening on this phone. And as you can see in the pictures, it's basically something different than what happens in the typical dots or tracks or worms, because basically we have here some kind of sparkling of light dots or some kind of fog, whatever happens there. So I guess that's at least an anomaly, but maybe likely an artifact of maybe technical nature. I guess we have to figure out. To conclude my talk, the contribution time per user suggests to me that a lot of people get frustrated fast. And well, maybe we can improve that by giving some kind of more feedback, what they contribute to the detection, or give them some type of high score, how many detections they made the last week or whatever. And from the talk yesterday, I concluded that this seems to be a problem with rather my device, because on my device, the app does not work completely stable, so I cannot let it run and put it in the corner and forget about it. It kind of stops running after several hours, and then I have to basically restart the detection that it continues to collect data. And for the multiple detections, there's quite an amount of these multiple detections in one frame in the data, so far I see it. It's unexplained till now, and so on. Thanks.
Thank you, Simon. Any questions? Simultaneous. Maybe I'm closer to Łukasz.
Maybe not so much questions, but two remarks. First thing about these users which are early dropping out. Well, we are aware of this.
Yeah.
We are aware that probably some incentives for users have to be implemented. We thought about gamification, which would be definitely, because I agree that currently probably those users which stay with us for a longer time are just astronomy or astrophysics or particle physics fascinates, so, which are quite a few. But implementation of gamification for devices which are so much different is not an easy task, because you have to be fair for all users. Whereas if they have different phones, you know, the different phones respond differently to the same signal. So that's not the easy task. Now, more physically motivated observation related to this multiple observation with multiple hits. I'm not aware of any serious, for example, Corsica and giant-based analysis phones respond to the signal. So probably that should be implemented.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm totally aware of that. These phones are very different, and it's hard to do that in an easy way.
I have two questions. Can you come back to conclusion?
Yeah. Which conclusion one or conclusion two?
My opinion, something like that, about this feedback. If I remember, a few years ago, maybe our chiefs will have a bit better knowledge. Was a program to some high score for the users of this application, but maybe another feedback, because I remember this from the bank application for the children. First bank account, something like that, and children receive the stickers, the first operation, the first logo, something like that. 10 events finding this sticker can be using for the background on the telephone, or for example, can changing the icon of the application. It means that icon of the application can change. You have you are find 10 events, something like that, and different icons.
You found your first worm, or
So thank you, Marcin. Maybe I will start. Sorry. It's obvious. Yes, you're right, and it's a lot of ideas how we can improve the situation. But the continuous difficulty is women power. We do not have people that would implement the plenty of ideas we have. And that's also the point here. So we have technical support, which is one person. It is already a lot, because it is really donated by the institution. Thanks to IFJ, we have a full-time person dedicated to technical support, but it's not enough, as you rightly say. And the same with the app, it's even worse, because we have no manpower for that. It's all volunteer work by the developers. And ideal situation would be if we have a really institutional obligation about it. Might be even business. If there is a business plan, how to have, I don't know, some micropayments inside the app, some game inside the app. Maybe some business plan can be organized so that the business partner might be responsible for stability, for the updates, for maintenance of the application. That would be a mutual beneficial situation, because there would be some income and there would be some scientific results, not to mention educational stuff. The second round, so you have now second comment or question.
Show us a statistic for multi events. it was 40,000 about, but the basic value was how many?
This is out of this data set of 1,077,919.
Okay, 40,000 on one.
Yeah. So but I think the calculated number is 4.52%.
Okay, another then my turn. Łukasz rightly said that this is actually a task, a simulation task. Jean for Corsica, we have tools. We do not have people, and this is very important. And I might speak only about this multiple hits. So there are two classes of multiple hits, one frame only. So many tracks within one frame, and the tracks on the consecutive frames. This seem to be different classes of events. And okay, we might have local cascades in the phone or in the walls. That is one thing, but we might also have a physics explanation above. We might have a multi-primary signature. So we should check it. And even if we don't have a multi-primary explanation, the local cascades might also be unique signature of specific particles. Maybe not every particle is capable of inducing such a cascade. So identifying these multiplets might be a way to have a clear identification. So it's all extremely important, and a perspective for science here is large. And please note that we speak about smartphone data. So yesterday I said smartphone data are promising, and this is an example for science from smartphone data. Not necessarily millions of users is needed. Yes, sure.
Sheer curiosity, because as far as I remember, we do not do the precise classification of how many hits within the frame are. So did you make your own tailor-made algorithm to how do you know that there are, for example, 7 hits or 9 hits?
Well, actually,
How did you compute it?
Yeah, of course. I basically ordered all the events by the timestamp they are received, and then I went through it and looked at series where the timestamp, the user ID and the device ID stays the same. Yeah, and that's it.
You can do it even by eye, but by browsing the website when you see the same timestamp.
But this is how I came to the idea that it exists, because I saw these timestamps on the website where like this, and then I tried to made an algorithm to find it in the whole data set. Yeah.
And the credit should also go to the user from PTMA Warsaw.
Yeah.
So Marek, Robert Nowakowski, they are listening. So it's thanks to you, thanks to your activity.
Yeah, but
we are on something. Okay,
So-
thank you very much. Let's thank the speaker again.